Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Mike Connors. We'll be starting the meeting in about 2 minutes. So just sit tight and we'll get going right at 7:30. All right, it's 7:30. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the TVA Head of the Hooch Coaches and Coxswains meeting for 2023. First up, I do want to at least do a plug for all of our sponsors that help make this possible for us, and especially the Tennessee Valley Authority for their partnership with us as being our title sponsor. This is the second year that we're working with Tennessee Valley Authority, and we do appreciate everything they're doing to help us elevate our game with the head of the Hooch. Okay, just as we go through, if you have questions, you can put them in the live chat on the YouTube channel, and we'll either try to respond directly on that channel or we'll field those questions at the end of the presentation. So again, I'm Mike Connors, the Regatta Director. On our end, we have Doug Jones, the Chief Referee, Chris Lemke, our Registrar, William Esterhusen, our Dock Master, and Ulrich Lemke, the President of the Friends of the Hooch. So we're all here to try to answer your questions and hopefully give you a rundown on what you can expect this weekend. So again, welcome to the 42nd Head of the Hooch. We're going to have over 1,200 boats racing Saturday and over 900 boats racing Sunday. Our entries were up this year, and as probably many of you know, a lot of folks were waitlisted, and unfortunately, we couldn't take every entry that was put in, or every application that was put in. With this number of boats, we're going to need everybody's full cooperation in trying to get everything launched and recovered over the weekend. So please pay particular attention to what we review on the launching sequence and traffic patterns with respect to on land and on the water. Just as a heads up, last year we started the regatta on Saturday, 1 hour later, to kind of give us a cushion in case we have fog, which is sometimes the case this time of year in Chattanooga, and we have kind of kept that same start times this year as we did last year. So pretty much the same thing that you ran into last year. Again, here's just an overview of the venue map, just for your reference points. We'll get into more detail on all the traffic patterns, but this is just a quick overview of where all the trailer parking is, where the launch docks, recovery docks are, all the team tents up over here, spectator seating, and as reference points, you can see where the aquarium is. And down here is the race operations tent. Up here is our volunteer tent, and here's a registration tent, just as quick points of reference as we get into this. So as you're arriving, if you're coming in by bus, the drop-off points will be, this is barely see the tip of the Tennessee Aquarium here. The drop-off points are going to be right in front of the parking lot for the Tennessee Aquarium, or if you make a left turn as you come down Aquarium Way, there's another drop-off point kind of in front of the IMAX Theater over here. So 2 points for your buses if you're coming in by buses on where to be dropped off and picked up. Trailer drivers, make sure you follow all the instructions on the website. Team trucks, when you come in and unload, you'll need to immediately leave the venue after dropping off the trailer. There will be no truck parking on the venue during the regatta. If you're coming in with a car topper, you'll have access to the venue for about 30 minutes on Thursday and some limited hours on Friday. There will not be access for car toppers during the day, Saturday and Sunday. So please try to arrive Thursday or Friday and get your boats unloaded and ready to go for the weekend. We ask that you do bring enough slings for your boats. We will have boat trees set up, but the boat trees we set up are certainly not enough to accommodate every and all boats that are brought to the venue. Okay, so trailer parking, when you come in, you can see the trailer parking lots are right in here underneath the old Jotty Bridge, if you're familiar with that, and they extend around on Riverfront Parkway, going this way toward what is ML King Boulevard. And there's also additional trailer parking going up the east side of Riverside Drive and coming it underneath the Walnut Street Bridge and Market Street Bridge up here. So this is where all the trailers will be parked. This indicates the roads will be closed at where the red barricades or red lines are is where it'll be barricaded to prevent any traffic from coming into the venue. And that starts on actually Wednesday when we shut all the roads down for preparation for the regatta. Okay, if you're looking to exit the venue on Saturday, make sure you talk to some of our parking attendants. We're not going to let truck access into the facility till after 7:30 p.m. on Saturday evening. So if you're planning on pulling your trailer out on Saturday night because you're not racing on Sunday, please speak to our parking folks because they'll try to get your trailer in a position where it'll be easier to get you out Saturday evening. There will not be truck access between 6 a.m. and 4 p.m. on Sunday due to the fact that we're already going to be starting to move boats to the water on Sunday morning around that time. Okay, Friday, practice session on Friday will be from noon to 6 p.m. No boats will be allowed to launch after 5 p.m. So if you want to get on the water, you need to do that before 5 p.m. and then all boats must be off the water by 6 p.m. Anyone that's going to be rowing on Friday, you have to obtain a wristband from the registration tent, and that just indicates to our dock folks that all your waivers have been submitted for the teams that are practicing that day. If you come into Saturday, the first race is right around 9:50 a.m. on Saturday. The first call for that race will be an hour before at 8:50 a.m. And then on Sunday, the first race will be at 7:50 a.m. and the first call will be 6:50 a.m. And please don't forget, one, we're on Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes that's confusing, but Chattanooga is on Eastern Standard Time. And from Saturday night going into Sunday, don't forget to set your clocks back as daylight savings time ends on Saturday evening. Oops, excuse me there for a second. Registration hours. So the registration hours, we can go in and check in on Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, they'll be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then Sunday from 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Remember, you won't be able to pick up your bow numbers and packets until all your waivers are completed. So please make sure all that's taken care of before you go in to try to pick up everything. Weigh-in hours for the lightweight events on Friday will be from 2 to 6 p.m. on Saturday from 8 to 5 p.m. and then on Sunday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And you have to weigh in at least 1 hour before your race. If you're showing up to weigh in within an hour of your race, that's just not going to work for you to get from the weigh-in tent to your boat and out on the water in time for your race. And there are no weigh-in requirements for coxswains. A couple things for the team tents. The Chattanooga Fire Department prohibits us from trying to run generators or do any kind of cooking in the tent laydown area, which is a large grassy slope right above the finish line. You can have warming dishes and things like that in your tent area. If you need to do any cooking, that is permitted across the street from the grassy area between the two aquarium buildings. They do not want any cooking trailers or mobile generators driven up on the grassy area, so only portable units are permissible. And we also require that if you are coming with cooking gear and plan on doing that over by the aquarium, that you bring a fire extinguisher with you. That's a requirement of the Chattanooga Fire Department, that you're prepared in case there's an emergency in that area. Okay, launch times. The final race schedule shows the race times for each race, and it also has a column for all the launch times. Please pay attention to those. That's the time that your crew needs to be at the bottom of the concrete ramp, ready to walk out onto the launch docks. So please try to plan how long it's going to take you to get from wherever your trailer is located over to the launch dock area. You know, it's imperative with this many boats that everybody gets down to the docks at the appropriate time for their launching, so we can move everybody off the docks and then also get the recovery moving smoothly as well. So again, please pay attention to the launch times that are posted for each event and try to be down at the bottom of that concrete ramp. First thing in the morning, we will have the recovery docks we'll use to help get the first couple events off launching from the recovery docks. And then we do the same at the end of the day. Once we're done launching boats, we will open up the launch dock to recover boats at the end of the day as well. The final call times and launch times are on our website. So if you go there, you can download the latest. I don't think that has changed in the last couple days at least. So you should be able to pick the final schedule up there, which will have launch times and the race times. And we will have copies of that available at the registration tent. And if you would follow us at Head of the Hooch, you'll get updates through Twitter/X. We'll be updating launch call times on that as well. So again, we'll be it'll take 45 to 60 minutes to row from the dock up to the start line. So please take that into consideration. We want you to get up into the start area at least 10 minutes before your scheduled start time, so that the judge referees in the area can start getting everybody corralled in order for the start of their race. We'll only announce each race on our PA system once. So again, only once you'll hear that race called, and we'll continue to keep calling races, what ends up being every couple of minutes as we go through the schedule. Please be aware that if you're kind of on the outskirts of the downtown area, we're limited in how far our speaker capability can go due to the residents that live on the west side of the Old Jotty Bridge and the ones that live up by the Market Street Bridge. Our speakers probably don't reach quite that far, so they're mainly going to be heard in the main venue area in downtown. So we would advise, if you end up in one of those areas, please be looking at the Twitter account for race calls. Okay, so we started this last year, part of the way through, and we're going to continue this year. So all crews will be using the concrete ramp, and you'll see a picture of this in a second, to approach the launch docks. Due to some safety concerns and congestion concerns, that aluminum ramp, for those that have been here before, the aluminum ramp that runs kind of through the center of the venue right near the pier, that will not be used for boats to go up and down. All the support folks that want to go up and down, the ramp will be open. It will just not be open for boat traffic up and down that. If you're coming down to the docks, we encourage you or require you to wear shoes. Flip-flops are just not safe, so we advise you not to wear flip-flops if you're going on the launch dock, just for safety concerns, for your footing and everything, and if the docks get slippery. And if it's your first time or you want a refresher, there is a link on the website that can give you a little additional information than what we're covering tonight as well. Plus this call or this meeting is being taped and it'll be available sometimes after we get everything concluded tonight or first thing in the morning. The race operations tent, if you have any questions, is located in the grass right by the launch dock, and that's where you'll find the judge referees, the dock masters, and our safety folks all work out of that tent. So if you need to find any of the people responsible for those areas, that's where you would find them. There will be safety checks on all the boats, checking for bow balls and foot gear. And then we'll be putting a tie wrap on your bow ball to show that the boat has been checked. And that'll be done at the top of the concrete ramp, but we'll also have judge referees circulating around the venue on Friday to help check out boats while you have them, up in slings or on your trailer. If you want to get them checked out and get the boat okayed, that kind of alleviates some of the backup and getting that done on Saturday and Sunday when you're actually heading to the dock. And like I say, even if you are checked, when you start coming to the dock, there is possibility of just being spot checked to make sure nothing has come undone in the time from when you were checked to when you're launching again. Make sure when you get your bow numbers and your shirt numbers, make sure your bow number is secured so that it will not fall off. As we all know, every once in a while you get a bow clip that's a little bit loose. You may need to require some duct tape or something to help make sure that that bow number stays in place. And then bib numbers, make sure that's going to be on the garment of the bow person that'll be racing. In the past we've had, the temperatures are going to be kind of cool in the morning. I'll go over that in a little while, but you'll put the shirt number on an outer garment, sweatshirt, weather shirt, and then get to the start line and say, okay, I don't want to race in this. And then when you take that off, the bow number goes down into the bottom of the boat. Please make sure that that bow number is affixed to the shirt that you're going to actually be racing in. All that helps us make sure we get you proper and accurate time across the course. So let's talk about the traffic pattern while you're on land. So the orange arrows are when you're leaving your boat trailer, wherever it's stored, all along Riverfront Parkway or in one of the trailer parking lots. And then you'll be heading west on Riverfront Parkway toward the main bridge here is called the Old Giotti Bridge, the large bridge that goes over some of the parking lots. And you'll be coming down there, and then you'll be turning toward the Southern Bell. This is kind of the Southern Bells complex here. You'll be turning toward the Southern Bell and then coming down the long concrete ramp and then going through what we call the horseshoe here and then out onto the launch dock. Okay. Again, a couple things to keep in mind here. As you're crossing here and coming through here, try not to block the road. Try not to get one of your boats kind of held up across the roadway here, because there are boats coming back in from the recovery docks that are trying to return to their trailer. And what happens is if you happen to get caught up halfway across the road with an 8, that prevents the boats that are returning to their trailer, particularly down by the Old Giotti Bridge, and you wouldn't believe how fast that backs everything up onto our recovery docks. So please be conscious of that you don't get yourself in a bind somewhere where you're crossing the road somewhere. Once you go across the launch dock here, you'll be pushed off even onto the bridge. I'll show some additional pictures on that in a second. And then when you come back in, you'll be coming back in on the recovery docks, 1 or 2 recovery docks. We'll go into that process. And then as you come off the recovery docks, you'll be coming up the grassy area here or up the concrete ramp this way. And then following kind of the same traffic pattern, other than you'll be kind of zippering across here. As you come up, you'll need to move to the left side to go back to the parking lots, and those that are going down to the dock should stay to the right side of the roadway there. Please be aware that particularly down along the parking lot areas where most of the boat trailers are, do not start taking up the roadway and rigging your boats. This becomes a problem every year. If the parking spaces are free along that road and you can somehow manage to get a boat in there, that's not as big an issue. But typically we start creeping out into one of the two traffic lanes, and we need both those lanes to let the traffic move down to the docks and also back to the boat trailers. So we'll be trying to find you if you start putting slings out in the roadway and rigging your boats or leaving them out there on the roadway. And again, this is just more detail on the launch dock, same thing. Orange arrows down, everybody kind of merges up here underneath the bridge, whether you're coming from the right or the left here, and then down the concrete ramp through the horseshoe and out onto the launch dock. Again, this just shows where that aluminum ramp that we have used in the past for bringing boats down, that will not be an access point for bringing boats down into the launch area. So just be aware of that. When you're launching, we want to limit the number of people that are on the dock helping. So we ask that, you know, for singles, doubles, pairs, only one person assist. Excuse me. Only one person assist with singles, doubles, and pairs, and then two people assist with fours and quads. It should be fours and quads, not four minuses. And then eights, three people to assist. We know that if you get on the dock and you're taking too much time, just be aware that we can assess a penalty if you take too much time on the dock. And then during the day, once we stop it in the morning, there's no launching from the recovery dock. And then when you're coming down onto the launch dock, the helpers will be accessing the dock through, there's a little side aluminum ramp as you're facing the dock on the left-hand side. That's the best way to pick up bring the oars and everything down to the dock. Please don't leave shoes and any other attire on the dock. Make sure that's what the helpers are there for, to bring the oars down and then take any shoes or clothing that you're going to be shedding on the dock back up to your trailer. Please don't make any repairs on the dock. We ask you to wait to tie in until you've been pushed off the dock and kind of get off underneath the Oljati Bridge and you're starting to make the turn. You can go ahead and get tied in that area. We're not going to permit anybody to launch for your race if it's under 45 minutes before your race, because it's going to take you that long to get up to the start. You'll be getting up there after your race has started. So just a reminder that, you know, get down there, and we're going to stop launching boats 45 minutes for any individual race. Okay. Just for anybody that's on from Lookout Rowing Club, there's no launching permitted from Lookout Rowing Club or the Chattanooga Rowing Center. That facility is shut down for boat launching and stuff. And again, because we've run into issues, please, no animals running around on the dock. Yes, we have folks that come down with their dogs and stuff and let them run around on the dock while we're trying to launch. So we've kind of now made it a rule that no animals are allowed on the dock. Okay, your traffic pattern. Once you leave the dock, once you come off the launch dock, you're going to head downstream underneath the Oljati Bridge here. There'll be two buoys out just past the bridge. You're going to go around those buoys and then head up the far shore against the current, heading up to the start line. Okay. Again, this is more of a visual of what it actually looks like. There'll be two buoys here coming around and then heading up the far shore over here. Okay, just so everybody knows, in 2021, if you haven't been here since then, we did shorten the course by 500 meters, and we made our start line is now shore-based versus being on a floating platform. So the race course is now 4.5 kilometers, and all the Masters handicaps have been adjusted accordingly to that. Again, here's just our busy picture of what everything looks like schematically for the course. You'll be launching down here where number 13 is, underneath the bridge, and then you're going to follow the far shore all the way up over here, staying inside the green channel markers. Just as a point of reference, as you get close to where the power lines cross, there is a shallow area over there. We'll have that marked with buoys. So you'll want to stay a little bit off the shoreline, going out toward the green navigation buoys. You'll head all the way up along that shoreline. As you approach the start area, you'll start to see triangular buoys with the numbers 1, 2, 3 on them. Those are buoys to help us stage you as you're coming up. The judge referees may use those as reference points and ask a specific race to stay around buoy number 1. Then they may bring you to buoy number 2 and then to buoy number 3. Once we clear you around buoy number 3, you're going to head across the river and start coming down on what we call the south shore, through the starting chute and then into the start line. Then on the race course, as you come down, there'll be orange buoys on your starboard side all the way down the race course. You'll be coming in down here. This is called McClellan Island. Will be on your starboard side through here, and then you'll be going through the second arches of each of the 3 bridges as you go through here. So the first arch will be between the shoreline and the bridge abutment, and then you'll be going between that first bridge abutment in the water and the second bridge abutment, or the island in this case. So you're going through what we call the second arches through each of the 3 bridges, and then come into the finish line just a couple hundred meters after you go under the Market Street Bridge, which is the last bridge that you'll go under. Just while it's up here, we've got plenty of vendors that'll be on our vendor alley. We've got quite a few of the boat manufacturers that'll be with us as well this year, and Concept 2. So, all right. Judge referees will be spaced out along the course. So if you do have any emergencies or any issues, please try to flag one of them down. We also have EMTs on the water. There'll be several EMTs in the finish line area. On land, there'll be an EMT on the water in the start line area on the boat provided by the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. And then we will have 2 fire boats along the course, which also have emergency personnel as well out there. So hopefully we don't need to use them, but they're out there. If you need them, we should have medical folks there to help you if you run into any issues. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the staging area. Again, we talked about the 3 triangular buoys. You might be asked to stop at each of those buoys as we gather each of the races. Once you hit buoy 3 and cross the river, be ready to go at that point. There's a good chance you are not going to stop. Once you round buoy number 3, you're going to be headed to the south shore, and then you'll be heading right into the starting chute. So there will be not time to start shedding clothes or adjusting anything once you get past buoy 3 and start crossing the river to come into the chute. Please pay attention to any instructions from the judge referees when you're doing that. They'll tell you as you enter the chute to start getting up to race pace. Please do not stop rowing in the chute. That can become rather hazardous to the boats that are now coming up to full speed behind you. There is no passing in the chute, so please do not try to pass another boat in the chute. And there will not necessarily be a horn that indicates you're crossing the start line. So you'll see there'll be 2 big buoys there that you'll go through, so you'll be able to visually see when you cross the start line. Okay, here's just an aerial view of what it looks like as all the boats are coming up around the 3 triangular buoys and then crossing. And if you're there will be a giant red crane sitting right around the start line area. It may be a little bit set back from the actual shoreline, but you should be able to see a large red crane is your best indication of where the start line is. And there's just another view of where the start line is with respect to that red crane. And then again, here's just an aerial view. The start line is up here on the river, and then you'll be coming down again with the orange buoys across on your starboard side, and then coming in through the second arches of each of these bridges as you come into the finish line area. And we talked about the buoys. Again, if you race the Head of the Charles or other races that have smaller buoys, it's not a penalty to have your buoy outside of the buoy line, as long as your hull stays inside the buoy line. Our buoys are quite large. I wouldn't advise it. I don't think they'll clear your riggers. As a matter of fact, I know they won't clear your riggers. So unlike the small buoys that they use at the Charles, you don't want to be trying to lay them underneath your riggers as you round any of the bends. Yielding and passing, if you get in a situation where a boat is overtaking you, and we view that as when you get within one length of one another, the boat that is being overtaken needs to yield to the boat that is overtaking and move to the outside or the longer path to give the boat that's overtaking the shortest path on the course. If you don't yield and it's witnessed by a referee, there will be penalties assessed for failing to yield. So again, here's if you were coming around the bend and the blue boat here was starting to overtake the red boat. The red boat is required to go out to the outside of the turn and allow the blue boat the shortest course in passing. Again, there will not be a horn at the finish line. You'll have two large buoys marking the finish line. If you row through those buoys, you'll be sure that you're at full power through the finish line. Once you pass the finish line, please go to a light paddle, but keep rowing. Do not stop right at the finish line, as there's probably several boats coming up right behind you. You'll row actually past the recovery docks, and there'll be red buoys on your port side. You're going to row up past those red buoys. There'll be judge referees in that area that will start explaining to you how to turn and come into the recovery docks. Do not cross that line of red buoys or you will be penalized. You're going to stay out to with those buoys on your port side, heading toward underneath the Oljati Bridge again. And then after you pass the last red buoy, you'll be turning to your port side and then coming into one of the two launch docks. Yeah, and don't turn until the officials give you permission to go ahead and turn. We do not have hot seating on the dock. We'll get into this in a second, but we do have priority launch cards. So if you do have to turn equipment around, we'll explain the procedure here in a second, where you'll pick up priority launch cards at the race operations tent, and then we'll try to expedite you into the dock if you need to turn a boat around quickly. Okay, as you approach the recovery docks, there'll be two docks. We'll refer to it as the number one dock is the outside dock or the long dock, and the number two dock is the inside dock or the short dock. On shore, lined up with those docks, we will have what we call the red and blue tube men that you may see at car dealerships to try to give you a visual on how to approach those two docks. They will be lined up with the foot of the dock, and you may be instructed to say, head toward the red tube man or the blue tube man. Know that the red one is lined up with the outside dock, the blue one with the inside dock. As you approach the dock, you'll be getting instructions from volunteers on the dock. Just pay attention to their instructions. Be aware of the current as you're approaching the dock. There will be current coming downstream, so it'll be coming off of your port side as you're approaching the docks. And they will be pushing you toward the dock. So coxswains, you need to take that into consideration. If you're approaching one of the docks on the upstream side, you need to be pointed out a little bit and let the current push you into the dock. Counter, if you're coming in on one of the downstream side, you probably need to take a little bit steeper angle into the dock and try to have a little bit more speed as you enter the dock till someone can catch one of your oars and pull you in. Yeah, if you're hot seating, just remember, or turning a boat around, nobody can launch from the recovery dock. So we do not allow you to take your crew down and put them in the dock at the recovery dock and then push off and go out for another race with that piece of equipment. We'll explain our process here in a second. Same as on the launch area, without going into this again, we want to limit the number of people that you will be having on the dock to help bring oars up or bring shoes down. So again, please minimize the number of people that are going down on the dock just so we can keep the congestion down. And again, just showing which direction the current is coming in. And again, just be aware of that as you come in, you want to clear the upside of the docks a little bit, let the current help you. And if you're coming in on the downside of the docks, just take a little steeper approach until we can grab you coming in. And I think this is just going over what I just said again. Yeah, I don't see anything new there that I didn't just say. Again, just more of a blow up on as you come through here. The finish line again, stay out away from this buoy line. I think we're showing it yellow here. I believe it's going to be red. It'll be red or yellow. How's that? But there'll be a buoy line here that we want you to stay outside of, and you'll come up and the referees' launches will all be in this area. That'll then turn you and direct you into the docks. One thing to be aware of is over the weekend, there will be a museum type ship that is a replica of Christopher Columbus's Pinta, which will be parked at this dock here. It's been here once before for the regatta. It doesn't pose a major issue, but just be aware that as you come around here, there will be that replica parked in here that I don't think is really going to interfere with how you approach the dock, but we just want to make sure everybody's aware that that will be parked at the pier here. All right. We've got plenty of volunteers on the dock that'll help you bring the boats in. Please follow dockmaster's instructions. Please move off the dock immediately, debrief on the race and everything up at the trailer, not on the dock. Like I say, we've got, 1,200 plus boats. We've got to move off the docks and on the docks on Saturday and over 900 on Sunday. Please be careful around the recovery docks as everybody's kind of spinning around and trying to come in. It gets a little bit congested in that area. We don't want to have any equipment damage or anybody hurt in that area. Once you come off the dock, you'll be walking up either the grass ramp, is what most people will be doing, is coming up what we call the grass ramp. Several folks will be walking up the concrete ramp. Make sure one of the volunteers takes your bow number as you come off the dock. And again, please, no animals on the recovery dock. Again, here visually, as you come up the docks, you'll be either coming up, this is the grass ramp up here to return to your boat trailers this way, or you'll be coming up this concrete ramp and returning to trailers if you have trailers parked here, or even further up the road this way. If you come up the grass ramp, we are not going to let you make a left turn here. So if you're parked in between the grass ramp and the end of this ramp, you're going to come up the concrete ramp and then flow this way so that the traffic keeps flowing in the same direction. We don't want you to get to the top here and then go against traffic trying to get back to your trailer. All right, yeah, so that was going through the same thing. If your trailer's up here on the east side, make sure you come up the concrete ramp. And again, here the big thing is coming back, just try not to block the traffic as you come up. You will have to probably learn how to kind of zip, I'll say crisscross somewhere in the road here if you're coming up from the recovery dock and boats are coming down, so you can get on this side to help you get back into trailer parking lots. We just ask that you just try not to get yourself stuck perpendicular to the roadway, which then congests everything. Okay, priority launch procedures that I mentioned earlier. We technically don't have a hot seating arrangement. You'll pick up a priority launch card if you think it's going to be a tight turnaround. We think you should allow at least 2 hours between races if you're going to reuse equipment. But if you need that quick turnaround, pick up a priority launch card at the race operations tent before you launch. You can show that priority launch card as you finish that first race, and we will try to expedite you into the dock so that you can then get that boat out of the water, and then we'll show you here graphically how we can bring you back around, and then you can relaunch with a new crew for that piece of equipment that's being reused. Again, if you try to relaunch from the recovery dock, that boat will be disqualified. So this is what the priority recovery and launch cards look like. So you'll have one of these out on the water with you. The coxswain or a member of a blind boat will show that to one of the officials. We'll try to get you into the dock. And then here's how this works. You're going to come off the recovery dock, and then you're going to come along the concrete water's edge right here will allow you back through here, and then you'll come right back here. As you're making this turn, you can change cruise, can grab the boat along here and then move right on to the launch dock again. So you'll come right into the flow of traffic. We'll weave you in with the boats that are coming down the concrete ramp to launch as well. So again, off the recovery dock, you stay along the hard edge or concrete edge here, and then we'll get you right back out on the launch dock. So we'll short circuit the whole the whole procedure from the top. Okay, if you do have an appeal, you need to kind of bring that down to the race operations tent. If you think there was a penalty that was assessed that was improper, or if you have any issues during the race that you want to bring to the officials, you'll show up at the race operations tent. There will be an ombudsman there or a jury there that you will be able to plead your case, so to speak. They'll listen to that and they'll make a decision on what needs to be done based on what you present to them. I always like to say, always understand that they're never going to take time off of your time on the course, no matter how wrongly you were violated on the river. You're at no point are they going to take time off. So when you think about whether you want to protest or not, please look at what the impact is going to be on the race itself. But like I say, there's never time taken off somebody's time. So keep that in mind when you come down to protest. If you are going to protest or file an appeal, you need to do that within 60 minutes of the last boat finishing that event. And talking to the ombudsman. Once that 60 minutes has passed is when we will finalize events, times for the events. Okay, unofficial times, you'll be seeing those for those of you that have been in regattas. We are using Here Now system. So as soon as you cross the finish line, your times are going to be popping up pretty much live as you're coming across the finish line, and then resorting themselves as faster times come in as boats cross the finish line. We'll hold those times as unofficial for the 60 minutes to make sure there are no appeals that are filed. And then once we get past that mark, we'll move the events to official, and then you'll be able to pick up awards at that point. Again, the biggest thing is to be able to launch and recover over 2,100 boats over the day and a half that we're racing. We need everybody to be really efficient on the docks. We will assess penalties if we feel that you're delaying anything, launching or recovering. We really appreciate your cooperation on all this, because that's the only way we can get this many boats on and off the dock. We typically say for an 8, from the time you enter the dock to the time you push off, we'd like to see you do that in under 3 minutes. And then all other boats, we would ask you to try to do that in under 2 minutes from the time you get on the dock to the time you get off, just as a reference for what we're looking for. If you want to see a list of the penalties, you can find those on our website. We expect to start everything on time. Again, late starts will not be permitted. If you're getting within 45 minutes of the start time, we're not going to let you go up to the start line, because you just won't get there in time for the start of your race. Medals and trophies. In the past, all of our sponsors have a trophy named after them. So quite a few of our races have trophies that'll be awarded to the winners. We have medals for the top 3 finishers, gold, silver, and bronze. And the awards tent is up by the registration area. So once the races are made official, you can go up there and pick up the awards. We ask that you just send one representative up to pick up the awards. Don't send the whole 8 up there to get their awards. Send a coach or representative from the team to pick those awards up. Weather. Cold weather. Be prepared for cold weather. Make sure you have multiple layers. Right now, rain is not in the forecast for the weekend. It never hurts to have your rain gear available, though. Again, to reiterate, make sure that the bow number is on the outside. The bib number is on the outside shirt that'll be racing. Just since we're talking temperatures right now, Friday, if you're going out for the practice session, the temperatures are expected to be probably 53 to 64 during the afternoon. Winds are about 5 miles an hour. Saturday, it'll be 38 degrees when we're launching the first boats in the morning Saturday. The temperature will be going up to 69, 70 degrees during the day. Again, winds still at 5 miles an hour. Sunday, it'll be a slight bit warmer. It'll be 44 in the morning, going up to 72 during the day. High winds for the day are 6 miles an hour. So we look like, knock on wood right now, the weather is going to cooperate other than being a little bit chilly in the morning. Unfortunately, the chill in the morning usually equates to fog in town here. So we'll see how that plays out on Saturday and Sunday morning. We like to talk a lot about dehydration. You know, we talk about safety stuff. A lot of what we deal with are folks that get dehydrated. They're not drinking enough during the day. Coaches, please advise your crews to drink plenty of water. Even though it's not necessarily hot out there, they can still get dehydrated. So again, drink plenty of water during the day. We talked a little bit about the winds. I think right now we are looking in pretty good shape for the weekend, but it never hurts to have a couple sponges in the boat or a small bailing device in case you get excess water in the boat. You want to get that out before the race starts. The current, you know, we work with the Tennessee Valley Authority, not only as our title sponsor, but also in trying to regulate the flow, being that we have not had a whole lot of rainfall here for probably the last 2 months. I'm anticipating that the flow rate will be very moderate for the regatta, probably similar to what it was last year for those that you were here. So right now the conditions are shaping up to be pretty good for the weekend from a current perspective, as well as the weather, other than being a little bit chilly in the morning. Okay, last reminder is this is your regatta. We need your cooperation. We want you to have a lot of fun. We want you to be safe. We want you to enjoy the regatta. We've got a really busy schedule to get all these boats launched. So again, please cooperate with us on the dock. Make sure your oars are ready to go near the launch dock when you're sending your boats down. Don't waste time on the dock. Keep moving. Don't risk missing your races by rowing in pairs or fours. It's going to take you 45 to 60 minutes to get up to the start area with the current down, probably closer to 45. But if you start rowing in pairs and fours, going up to the start line, that is going to slow you down. Don't forget to look online or grab any instruction sheet for the coaches or for the coxswains and crews you'd like. And as we get down to it here, they've got some special events on Friday. Oar Board will be on site during the practice session, and they will be demoing some of their equipment. So Oar Board is one of our primary sponsors. So we encourage you to go down and see what they have to offer and try one of their more recreational oar boards out if you like. And a quick plug, we will have a virtual Head of the Hooch again this year. It'll be January 20th, 2024. We'll have approximately 56 events. We'll do individuals and doubles. We'll be using Time Team's racing platform as we did last year. We will have races for para-athletes. The race distance will be 2,000 meters for everybody. So we're looking at that as kind of as you go into the indoor season or getting into race season for indoors. This would be a nice way to test yourself out virtually. We will have medals for the winners. We do have Concept 2 has donated a Model D erg, and that will be awarded to one random person. One of the participants will put all the names in a hat and pick out one person randomly that participates that'll win that erg. NK has donated 2 speed coaches, and we'll have specific events that the winners will be picking up those 2 speed coaches. Those will be, and that will be picked out. The events will be picked out by NK, and then we'll announce which events will be racing for the speed coaches. And then Easy Going Rowing and Insidious Remax will randomly select 4 individuals and 2 doubles teams to be awarded some of their Pro W seat pads. All funds that we raise for that virtual event will be donated to a charity that we will announce that before the event. And if you're interested, you can find it on our website where the virtual link is, and the registration is open until January 12th. Again, I want to thank all of our sponsors because we couldn't do it without them. One, a lot of them provide in-kind product that help make the Hooch what it is. A lot of them support us financially as well, which helps us bring everything on board and helps keep some of the prices down for the entry fees as well. So I want to just wish everybody good luck. I would stop knocking my earbuds out. We're going to open up our internal mics and see if we have any questions that we need to answer right now. So, Chris, if you want to see if you've got anything that came in on the live chat.
No real questions. The only question which I answered in the chat, but just to say in the recording too, is your regatta packets will have a bow number, obviously goes on the boat, and then there'll be a Tyvek bib number with safety pins in the packet, and that should go on the bow rower, not the coxswain, just so it can be seen as you come down the course for timing. Okay. But that is everything.
All right. Anybody else on our end? Doug, did you have any comments you wanted to make as the chief referee?
No, just everyone have a safe time out there and make sure that you guys are paying attention to the traffic pattern and just listen to folks that are out on the water listen to the judge referees. So that's it.
All right. Any other comments on our end before we wrap it up? Okay. All right. Well, listen, everybody, thank you for taking the time out to sit through the Coaches and Coxswains meeting. We look forward to seeing everybody this weekend. Please travel safe. And if you have any questions, I think you've got all of our info emails on the website. Drop us a note. We'll try to get you an answer to any questions you have. But we look forward to seeing everybody this weekend. Travel safe and good luck. Take care. Thank you very much.